Hello and welcome to Cold Wans. If you're not familiar with what Cold Wans is, it's a 5-minute cold plunge into the post-plunge warm-up, where we get to know our guest. On the note of our guest, we've got Scott Bremner returning #1 episode Cold Wans runner. On you come, Scott.
Hi everyone.
He's back for round 2, bigger and better than ever.
Bigger and better. Let's go.
Okay, well, if you're fucking keen, let's get it. Right, whenever you're ready, mate.
Oh, we're just hopping in.
Yeah, let's go. Woo! Oh, it's incredibly cold today, man.
It is quite cold.
Oh man, fucking hell.
I really need to get myself one of these. I need to fix my hair as well.
That's a game changer, man. I love them. I would never recommend doing it every single day, but see, just for when you've done a lot of hard exercise.
Aye.
It's the best, man, honestly. Oh, but anyway, I have got a little question for you. And I feel like this was a really good one, actually, considering we were the first one to do an episode of Cold Wans. So I thought we'd get a little catch-up while we're in the ice bath, kind of within a question. So my question is for you. What kind of difficulties, because we're both on kind of this grind, hustle sort of life, you know what I mean, we're trying to get up there. What kind of difficulties have you been running into from the last time you were on this, kind of, maybe just trying to reach?
What's been happening in my life that's been, difficult?
Yeah, what difficulties do you see?
Fucking everything. Life is difficult, and but it's rewarding. See, when you've been trying to do something for a while, and then you start to see progress, you're like, yes.
Yeah. It's a rewarding time, to be fair. But when I think about the difficulties I've probably went through, I feel like these grinding sort of hustle things, it's so good until it's not.
It is, yeah, it can get toxic pretty quick.
Yeah. It's about that counterbalancing time sort of thing, you know what I mean? Because if you put too much time in, you run yourself in so hard, you know what I mean?
Aye.
I've had days where I woke up and even just for ice baths, simple things, you know what I mean? It can be so difficult, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so much.
It's like
sometimes.
procrastination. It's when you, I don't know. See, for me, if I'm doing one thing too much, you get that sour feeling of it. You're like, it's a bit too much.
Yeah.
But if you push past that, that's where the good things start to happen.
Yeah. I think that is genuinely what is the biggest problem with doing all these things though. It's when you start to procrastinate and you start to overthink things as well, and the more you think about it, the less successful you become with it, if that makes sense, because you're overdoing it sometimes. When sometimes these simple tasks are literally just A to B things you have to do.
Yeah.
But
it can also be just your dopamine system as well, because sometimes if with me, if I have a gig and I'm I've been playing all night and I've went on a night out, and then the next day I'm I plan to do something that's working out, studying, fucking even just doing basic shit. I'm I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to do it. I still do it 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So that's no one's gonna be able to keep up with life. It's too quick.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's just studying stuff, man. That's the worst part for me. It's
just dopamine. If you can get control of your dopamine system, which is hard because life right now, and I mean our kind of generation, it's so stimulating. There's so much stimulation and so much entertainment that's you're always going to be entertained at any point.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. It's also that thing, like you're saying, it's so hard to stay on track with stuff because of how easy it is to keep yourself entertained. You know what I mean? I'll find myself doing what I usually would do, my ice bath, Muay Thai, studying and stuff. But then sometimes I'll end up on Instagram to post my stuff, and then suddenly I'll find myself in the loop. Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? And I'm really I'm really good usually for not doing that, but then I'll find myself doing it and not even realizing. And that's the worst part about it, because that just shows if you don't have the mindset to not do it, how is it when you do, you want to do it? You know what I mean?
There's kind of a paradox here.
It's a crazy thing, because it is genuinely from someone that doesn't enjoy sitting on their phone watching stuff, that doesn't really go on their phone to talk to many people that much, to then just being stuck on an app watching stuff that's just so pointless most of the time. But then it's kind of also contradictive, because at the same time I'm doing the same thing, but for a different light, if that makes sense.
No, well, the thing is, I saw this. I need to figure out who the quote was from. It's I don't know. It's basically, if you focus more on what you bring to social media and still consume, rather than have the unhealthy sort of relationship with it
Right.
where it's overconsumption.
Yeah.
Like it's like you might post stuff, but it's like it's the overconsumption where you're just scrolling just to get the next like good video.
Yeah.
Instead of like me personally, I'll use like Instagram or YouTube for kind of more educational. Like you want to see things that you're interested in.
Yeah.
And then the algorithm will send that to you. But once you go past the algorithm, that's when people start getting like weird sides of the internet.
Yeah, man, it's a crazy thing. The thing is as well, like I quite like to sometimes go into Instagram and stuff to get ideas. Because like doing these ice baths and that every day it's quite difficult to find something new.
Yeah.
I don't usually take things directly from people, but if I see things that I like the idea of and then I think I could put a funny twist on it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But that's also where then the problem starts, because when you start watching it, that's when you forget what you're there to do as well. Like,
I don't know. I feel like as much as you can say social media is toxic and it's bad to like doom scroll sometimes, or like I'd say from my personal experience, I have gained a lot of information from those things.
Yeah.
From scrolling, like you do actually pick up information. It's just it's hard to navigate that information because it's stuck in like 100 other scrolls.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because I was watching something yesterday, and it was like, like every so often you'll pop up and one of those reels will come up, right? And it's like, what are you doing wasting your time? You're wasting your life going through this, stop scrolling. But then it's like, do you remember the fifth fucking last video you watched? And I was just sitting there, I was like, no, I actually don't. And that's when you start to realise, you're like, right, I need to stop. Then I turn my phone off. But it's a crazy thing. Like, it's hard to stay away from it nowadays. But then that's also like a real reason that I think a lot of people struggle with these, like staying consistent with side quests.
Side quests,
side hustles and stuff. Because like it
is. You can see with me like side hustles, you can get stuck being like starting a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're like, I've got this new adventure. You go down it for like a week. You're like disciplined to it. No. You just completely stop doing it. Like if you're gonna. The issue is there's so many different ways to like make money online.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna get stuck with doing something, you need to understand that what you want to do to make money, you have to do that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
So like, I guess like once you have enough money, you can get into other ventures and stuff. But just pick what you want to do for the rest of your life, and like that's
just gonna hit the ground running. That's probably the best advice you can give to someone. To be fair, because it's a whole fighting thing of staying with one thing. It can be difficult, and especially the other thing as well, right? I feel like it's really hard to find. See, like when you go into Instagram, you get all like the mentors and stuff. You see a lot of scams come out of these things, so you start to like misbelieve in what opportunities there are there as well sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously, the thing is as well, there will be people out there that are genuinely there to try and help people, but it's so saturated with people that aren't there to help people now that it's difficult to believe the real people. And I think that's also why a lot of people struggle with trying to go online to get money as well, because you see all these people, they'll go through uni, they'll get these jobs, good jobs most of the time if they get the job from uni. But the thing is, there's endless amounts of money online. You know what I mean? It's a hard platform to do because it's so much risk for reward at the start.
What, for making money online?
Yeah, for quite a lot of the ways online anyway. There's obviously ways that you can do it without putting money in, but quite a lot of the ways, like for example, cryptocurrency, like all investment stuff, you have to have money to get money most of the time.
Yeah. You have to put down at least like a deposit or something into it first. What's it called? Capital. Yeah, that's the word.
So it's one of those things where a lot of people won't take that risk because they don't have the money to put that risk in. And that is definitely where a lot of people fail. But I genuinely think we've been in here for about 7 minutes.
Have we?
I don't know.
It has been a while. It's been a good chat with mates.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if it's less than 5 minutes. So I think what we'll do is we'll go under the water and then we'll head over to the post plunge, where it's a little bit less wet and a little bit warmer. Oh. Yeah, that was good. That was alright. This is the post plunge warm up. And in the post plunge warm up, we get to know our guest, probably base to bear. But because it's Scott and it's his returning episode, we're going to take it a bit more chill. It's not going to be quite as cold wans kind of.
You can go check out the first one.
Yeah, that really good chestnut, man. That was a good episode, to be fair. It was a good episode, but the microphone quality there wasn't quite there. Whereas in this one, I think it's going to be at least 10 times better. So, what we're going to do is we're going to run the post-plunge warm-up the same ways we usually would to start with, and then me and Scott are just going to kind of have a podcast moment and just kind of talk and get some fucking reactment moments up.
Excited.
Just have a good bit of fun, because, I mean, why wouldn't we? So, Scott, the post-plunge warm-up every single Cold Wans starts with 2 questions. And the 2 questions are, what has your past kind of been like and grown up? What kind of things have happened to you? The next question is always about your future. I usually go for about a 5-year gap, kind of what your goals are, what you've kind of got set up and ready to go. So, we'll run with the first question. So, run us back a bit of your life.
Right, where do we go? Like, dawn of time.
You can go fucking anywhere,
Start
man.
back at the dinosaurs. Going forward. Yeah. Nothing, I don't know. Like, grew up in Livingston, which is, for anyone not from Livingston, it is the definition of mid. Like, nothing good, nothing bad happens in Livy. It's just so mid.
Yeah, I agree.
And like, but growing up here, it was fucking, I enjoy myself. It's safe. It's kind of, I don't know. It's a strange town because it's mainly just a shopping centre, and that's it.
Aye, just kind of spawned out of nowhere 20 years ago or whatever, or 50 years ago or whatever it was.
Aye. So then I'm 20 now. I'll work it back. Like, I went to primary school. For me was fucking, that was easy. I don't know. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. I didn't love it. I did not like it. I think I was always quite a wild kid. So, like, I don't know. It's probably my mind was stuck in Star Wars or something on the playground. That's the main thing. But high school was fun. High school was lots of fun. Like, you realise, like, when you go to high school and stuff, it's like, in hindsight, you realise how much of it is like growing. Because at the time you take it so like serious. You're like, everything, the end of the world. But realistically, you look back at it and you're like, wow, I was just like growing as a person. And yeah, you never get any of that shit right when you're growing up.
Absolutely, man. It's the best time to make mistakes, to be fair. You can always come back from them, whereas like making kind of mistakes that we kind of made in high school nowadays is a bit less forgiving.
But apart from that, I've not actually really done much with my life yet. Well, like, in total, like, some people have been and done crazy shit. I've not done anything crazy, like that crazy.
How unfortunate.
I don't know. High school was just like, I don't know. It was all right, I think.
To be fair, we as a group of people, we all developed in high school like really well. Like, we might have went through a lot of bad things and done a lot of bad things, but I think it all developed us into who we are now. And like everyone says, if you don't go through the bad things eventually once in your life, you'll go through them later, and that's usually not when you want to partake in what we kind of partaken in. You know what I mean? Like, to be fair as well, like a lot of people put down younger kids to like what we kind of done, but the thing is, it's such a normalised thing nowadays. It's just adults don't understand that, because back in their time it was less
normalised.
Yeah, less normalised. It's a very hard thing to get right, because you didn't want to be able to kind of accept what kind of happened, but at the same time, like, you kind of need to understand that a lot of pressures and kind of youth culture is kind of pushing towards stuff like that nowadays.
I guess it's kind of like that Ned culture.
Yeah.
Like in Scotland, it's got quite a bad Ned culture of just going out and drinking, and that's actually normalised at age 14 to like 15, 16. You just grow up like that. And that's why, like, I can't get into the headspace of someone who lives in like USA, not drank until they're 21. Like, it's so fucked up. Like, the idea of going out drinking in the woods, age 14, best idea ever.
It does, absolutely.
Yeah. Like, at the time, you were like, this is sick. But like, and I'm sure there's 14-year-olds right now that are doing the exact same thing. And like,
absolutely, man.
Those experiences of like being a Ned. Or like, I don't think we were like Neds.
Nah, I wouldn't say so.
Nah, more hooligans or something. I don't know. And
reprobates, man.
Aye, like if you didn't sort out your shit, you end up like just being a waster at that point. But like back then, those kind of times, it was like you just did it.
Yeah.
And then we're here now, so I just kind of got to live with it.
I deal with the consequences later. To be fair, there's not many consequences, so like you learn a lot of things from doing what, like just going back and kind of looking back on your past, whether it was good or bad. You know what I mean? But you do learn from it. Like that's what I've noticed, especially now that I've like took this whole different turn for life. It's good.
Aye.
It's a good feeling coming back and kind of pushing.
I mean, you
back.
have to do it at some point. Like, if you grow up and you've been like just like a classic teenager going out drinking, smoking, doing whatever, like it gets a point where you have to be like, right, I'm not gonna do this anymore.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. It is. But it's a crazy thing as well. Like I was thinking about this a couple months ago, and I was like sitting there, and I was like, me, you, and Mark, all like, and Jordan, all kind of just got our shit together all at the same time.
I guess that's just like maturing, like growing up.
It was just weird how it all happened, but because it just all kind of snowballed.
Aye.
From one of us being like, it's time, and then all of us being like, yeah, no, it's actually time, and then we're all actually doing something, like whether we're cutting out everything, whether we're doing our best that we could possibly do, and we're all doing a lot better than we were. You know what I mean? Like, and it's good to see all of us up developing in that way, because it's a hard thing sometimes for youth to come back from if you get it wrong.
I think it's just like a growth mindset thing.
No, absolutely as well,
like,
yeah.
All of us as a group collectively, whether we did it like consciously or subconsciously, we just started growing as a team and like as a collective.
Yeah.
Like individually. And that's like it was at different growth rates, but overall, everyone at least had like some sort of goal that they were aiming for and actually like went out and tried to achieve it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I feel like you filled us in quite a bit there. I mean, it was a bit of a just a back and forth conversation, which is always good, man. You know what I mean? Like, these questions are more or less just to get the conversation rolling anyway. It's not really anything deep, you know what I mean?
What are they called, like cue cards?
Yeah, it's just things, because I think it's like from that one question, we've just started blurting out loads of other shit about class as well. So it's like, it works. But we'll move on to the next part, because I want to get to the nice part where we just fucking react to stuff. We just kind of talk. But this bit's important for a lot of people, because if folk haven't watched the first episode from you, it's good to still get a bit about you.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So going from that, what's kind of your goals for the future? What do you see yourself being or doing in the next like 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years. I'd say, in 10 years' time, even in 5 years' time, I'd be quite open to just like having a family and like just settling down, get a bird and just like get a house. I don't want to pay a mortgage. Like, I'd rather be able to pay off a house by the time it comes to that. But yeah, just like settle down, have a family, fucking work for myself, like be self-employed, like because right now studying to be a PT, but while also training, it like gives me a different mindset on what I'm doing. Like everything from my training to my eating, you have like a different outlook, because you've learned all this information and now that's your knowledge, and then you apply it, like knowledge applied. Yeah. It's like right now, the kind of workouts I'm doing and the kind of stuff that I will be doing with clients when I'm in a gym, this stuff, it's like, it just feels so right to me. Yeah. Because I found it on my own like natural path of like, okay, studying, but also training for this, but training for this and training for this, and trying to be a kind of multifunctional fitness, kind of just like being able to get a grasp on every side of the fitness industry and like how to train as a human. Like if you're not just like, obviously they have like powerlifters, boxers, whatever, people that are training for specific things, but that's neglecting the majority of the population. Yeah, people that actually just don't want to work out, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you don't want to work out, like, I think there's nothing wrong with that, but you need to work out at the end of the day. Yeah, like
for your health,
like genuinely, it's like you want to live a happy, healthy life. If you can find an hour in your day to just, like, it might feel like hell, but everyone enjoys it. Like, once you get into it.
The thing is as well, like, I think with fitness, it's, you don't even have to go to the gym and stuff like that. Even like going a run, like, it's as simple as that.
It's about finding your place in it. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people do come down to like doing their walks and their runs eventually, because most people have that realization that it is very important to get at least introduced to like the fitness sort of side of things, because it makes you live longer and it makes you live happier, like you say. But it's that tiny step of just trying to actually push yourself out, and the thing is as well, like you're saying, studying it's so good because you learn everything within the studying personal training and stuff. Whereas like when you go to Muay Thai, you learn how to do like core stretching, flexibility and stuff like that. It's like very, very pushed towards that Muay Thai kind of style. Or if you go to the gym, you're lifting weights, but there's so many different ways to lift weights for it to do different things for your hypertrophy and that. So it's like, it's all finding what your like kind of niche is in fitness. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, I agree with that totally. But it's a crazy thing, man. So like outside of that, obviously what worked for yourself and that, and I think a lot of people nowadays want that goal. They want that kind of
that freedom. Yeah,
that freedom, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Like I've always said, like I would take like 40 grand a year, right, for example. But if I could run that money in my own time and look after my family and everyone gets the opportunities that they deserve. Because the thing is, I don't think it's important to spoil your kids. I think that's stupid. But I think what's important is to give your kids enough money to give them opportunity. Opportunity is so important.
Aye, especially in this world right now.
Yeah, like I'll always hold myself lucky to the family I have and like how they've got enough money to be able to give me opportunities like this. Like this place right now that I'm sitting in, I didn't pay for any of this. Yeah. Well, minus like the actual equipment. But it's like I was lucky enough that my family worked their asses off to then get a place like this where I could do something like this. And whether this goes somewhere or not, I'm doing this as like a hobby now, and I enjoy it. So like, I got given that opportunity to be happy by getting to do something that I enjoy because they worked their asses off, and I'm now I'm kind of like
reimbursing.
Yeah, like
you want to do that, do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what it's all about. And I think it's so important. It's not even about having loads of money; it's about having enough money to run a happy family. Because the thing is, like, if you don't have enough money, or sometimes not even money, sometimes just the stress of working too much as well for people can then ruin your families. And that's one of the biggest things. Like, if you work for yourself, you pick your shifts, well, not your shifts, you pick your time, you pick your workload, and you look after your family the way you want to. You know what I mean?
I see that, like, building, like, a future, like, even just the thought of that, like building a future and like trying to set yourself up for the future. I think the family is probably the most important bit. It's like, I don't know, my family relationships growing up, I think they're very special in their own right and like very unique, but they're not like normal by anyone's like standards. And I like my like growing up, it like matched that. So it's like it's just like a bit. It was just like a bit different. Like not everyone else, but everyone's family's different. And then like if you're building your own family, you kind of think, right, this is where I came from. This is my family. But I also have like a vision of like what I want my family to be, to look like, their kind of morals, their ethics, the things that like as a family you do together. Like even if it was like eat at the table or like just spending time with each other, because I don't know, I'm not sure, I talk to a lot of people and I guess like I don't see many family dynamics that aren't mine, but I feel like it's a must that people nowadays don't socialize as much with their family as they would 30 years ago, just because of fucking social media and shit, or like just the like distractions.
It's a product of the time for sure. Like it's the same in my kind of house. Like we used to eat dinners and stuff together, and it just disappears. Like the older you get as well, because they stop having like a hold over you as like a child. So then when you get lost in social media, like you're saying, you start not caring. Like you're too busy wanting to go play the next game with your friends. You're like, oh, I'm not having dinner this time, and then eventually that becomes a habit, and then like you say, it never goes back. And it's a whole mad thing, because I think that's probably a case for most people nowadays, to be honest. Like, and then things like that also, cause a lot of family actual problems. Like, I think a lot of people nowadays, like your parents and that might not be, don't know what the word to go with is, like it's just not as easy going as it maybe used to be when everyone was
there's
connected.
more pressure. It's like, I feel like when you, like, especially the family dynamic, when you're all like spread out and it's like fending for yourself, that's a horrible family dynamic.
Yeah.
Like, and I've felt that before, where it just feels like even in your family you feel like a bit of a lone wolf, which is horrible to say because at the end of the day it's your family, and you'll always come together and you always love each other, but like that's how it can feel sometimes.
Yeah, and that has got to be one of the worst feelings to feel, to be honest. No, I absolutely feel that, man. But I mean, it's one of those things though, like no matter how much you talk about it, it's the actions that you take in most cases aren't. Well, you can build a good relationship for your family. That is a thing that you can build, and you can really focus on that, and you can make sure that that happens. But for a general populace sort of thing, it's already gone in the dust, to be honest. Something like this, talking like this, is not going to make the difference that you need to make.
Excuse me. I've got so much like cough within me. Don't know why.
I'm so fed up, man. Get us a new setup and I've actually mucked it up 3 times, bro. Oh, but anyway.
Coasting on the coaster.
Coasting on the coaster. It's because I spilt it when I kicked the table, man. It keeps sticking to it. Oh, but yeah. I mean, outside of that, like, is there anything else that you see yourself doing in the next?
The band. Yeah, like
I
music.
was waiting for this one.
Like music has cemented itself in my life. Like creating it, listening to everything about it, like going to gigs, playing at gigs, all of it. It's like it's quite like dominant in my life, and I'll play music for the rest of my life, whatever happens with it. I'll write songs for the rest of my life. I'll play every instrument I can. Like I like playing them all a little bit, just really shitly. So it's like jack of all trades, but master of none.
It's not a bad thing though. Like it's good fun.
Yeah, I like to just keep musical, and like the band itself, it's going good at the moment. With we've just recorded a new song. Well, actually, we haven't recorded it yet. We were just like we're tweaking it with the guitarist from the Shambolics. He came over to the Pirate Studios in Glasgow, and then he was just like helping us like work with the song, and then we're gonna go record that in Dundee.
All right.
Some other I don't know what this studio is called, but we have a song that we're gonna release soon, and we recorded it way back in April, May, March, April. So at some point around then, and we basically just haven't released it. Like we just kind of sat on it, and it's if not our best song, it's really good. It's my personal favorite song. So yeah, that'll be coming out soon, and end of this month playing I'd say like our biggest gig so far with supporting the Sway. The band from Liverpool. So if you're free on the 31st of August, come to Legends in Edinburgh, where you can watch the Neapolitan live.
Oh, no, absolutely, man. You should all go check them out. To be fair, that time that I came to probably what you would probably count as one of your worst gigs because everything went so wrong.
Yeah, I'd say
the actual gig itself was quite good. Like I said, like considering all the things you went against for being the first time I saw you, I enjoyed it thoroughly. Like he's got a good vibe going, and that's one of the most important things. Like obviously you've got a good group of people behind you as like a base as it is,
like
which is
support, right?
which makes a good starting point. But then having just been able to pick up the crowd like that the way you do it's good. And it's good also seeing like because it's a group of folk that I'm mostly pals with. I'm pals with everyone minus like Adam's brother because I don't really speak to him, but I speak to you all, and it's good to see that you have picked that kind of way to go as well. Yeah, because like you find a lot of cases nowadays, like a lot of folk will pick something and then everyone else will just try follow that. But we've all picked our own thing. Like, I'm doing a podcast, you're doing a band, Mark's being Mark.
Mark's just a family. Mark is living the best life on this planet.
He is. He's just living it cushy.
Yeah, he's just living his fucking best life, and like fair play to the guy. Like I I can see it now. Like, if you go back and you think when we were 13, who would have the house, the girlfriend, like everything sorted at age 21? It would probably be Mark.
Yeah. If I was going back to high school and I was still with, not going to say names, but I thought at one point I would be that person, but no, Mark definitely took the cake. I think it's because Mark's been so good at always being in a relationship. he never is out of a relationship. Like, there's something about that, man. Sophie, I know Sophie, you'll be safe with him. Like, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, the whole way through our lives, Mark has maybe been out of a relationship for maybe months, if that.
It's because he's a handsome guy.
Yes, yeah. I'll give him that. Absolutely. But yeah, it's a whole crazy thing the way we've all went in different things. And to be fair, seeing your development as a band as well has been good, because although I've not made it to like many of your gigs and that, I see yous all coming together. I see the way your dynamic runs. Even from the last time when you came for Cold Wans episode 1, that was like, we spoke about the band and stuff, but it was like, that was at like almost the beginning, well, not quite the beginning, but it was very early on.
Was that like March and April?
Well,
that was March,
it would have been 20 weeks ago, so what, like, I don't know how many months that is. 5 months? 5 months ago when I started Cold Wans.
Wow.
So
yeah, March kind of time.
So yeah, so that long time ago. But that was like
you getting prepared for the winter season. It's still being really cold.
I'm trying to work out who's gonna come on it, man. That's more the problem than anything. Like, it's easy enough for me to, I'll get nice, but I don't really care.
Aye.
But like, getting folk that'll come back in winter or even come on in winter is going to be difficult, because right now a lot of people are even struggling to come on it now.
Yeah.
And it's actually like, I've spoke to loads of folk and they're like, I would love to do the actual second part, but the first part does not like interest me at all. And I'm like, but that's the whole point of it. That's part of the challenge, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't do the first part, then what's the point of doing the second part? That makes my podcast just like every other podcast, you know what I mean? But I mean, I'm sure I won't struggle. Like, I might end up going bi-weekly if I'm struggling that badly, you know what I mean? But I've got September sorted, so that's like the start of winter kind of time coming in.
Just do it yourself. Like, I don't know, you could sit and like do like YouTube reactions and shit. That would just be funny.
But the thing is, like, that, even at that, like, my brother wants to come and do stuff like this as well. So if Cold Wans becomes too difficult through the winter, then I'll just change it to something else.
Aye.
Just for the winter season and bring Cold Wans
Make
back.
it warm ones, like get a hot tub.
That was actually one of my ideas at one point. I was going to be like, right, we'll just stand outside and talk with like just shorts on, and then we'll go in the hot tub after.
Go in a hot tub.
Or you could do warm ones, because I mean,
that'd be sick. You should definitely go in a hot tub. Do that on your birthday as like a treat.
22 turns 22, gets a hot tub. But then folk will think I'm doing hot plunges every single day.
Hot plunge.
Oh man,
doing like a sauna or something. That'd be hot ones.
Let them cook. Let me cook. Oh man, nah. It's. I think Cold Wans as a whole is a great idea, but it's because of the way I've went about it. You struggle to get reoccurring people that aren't, what's the word, are more confident in front of the camera, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like, the thing is, something like this only thrives if you have people on it that are good in front of a camera. Because it's a struggle to be able to just sit here with someone and me have to force stuff out of them all the time. Like, that's not how it always is. But
I suppose.
For a podcast, it's really about two people talking.
Aye.
So when you're forcing, it can be difficult. But I mean, I've only had like maybe one or two people that have ever been like that, and they've not been bad episodes. It's just been more difficult for me to keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Whereas like every time I'm like with someone I know, or even some of the new folk, like folk I hadn't really met much, like Sean, easy to speak to, because like shake hands, knew what we were getting to do.
Like a decent guy,
Yeah,
like just a decent straight up bloke.
So you straight on with that. The boy that was meant to be on today, it was going to be the same. Like I knew for a fact the minute I met him, it'd be easy. But it's like, then you get some people that come on and they're like, outside of a camera, so confident. Camera comes on, nothing. They're just like...
Camera shy, yeah.
Lights on, no one's home. Just for that, like, that couple minutes. And it's you know what, someone that really surprised me that came on to this? Paul Bain.
Paul Bain.
Because like, he
that
came on...
That episode is good.
It is. He came on and he was like, oh, well, how do I react? And I was like, just pretend the cameras genuinely aren't there and just speak to me.
Yeah.
And he just done that, and it was one of the best episodes because it's so genuine. What he's talking about is so, you can tell it's from his heart.
Aye.
And you can tell it's also something he's wanted to speak about for a long time. And that's what makes it so good, because it's so real. It's like, that's like the realest story that's ever been on Cold Wans.
Aye, right, just went for it.
Exactly. And you have to appreciate a guy. I mean, I know he's He's a bit older, so he's probably not as worried about like the whole social thing of being like, oh, folk know this about me, blah 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 blah.
Plus he's Paul Bain.
Yeah,
so
that's true. He's a goat, man. He is the goat regardless.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's so facts, man. Oh, but I actually said to Paul I'd get him back on this at some point because I would love to hear more, not less about his story, but more about what his goals are and stuff as well. Because I mean, he's an older guy, so like the goals are going to be completely different.
Right now he's driving his doing driving lessons.
Yeah, so like, stuff like that's interesting.
Yeah.
Like folk would be like, oh, that's not a very normalized thing for someone. That usually you pass your test by that point, but then it's like you see the difficulties that he's went through in his life, and he's still pushing against it to become better in himself, and that's actually really empowering because you don't see that in a lot of people.
The other day I was sitting in my car at work, and I look up. And there's a fucking seagull, a dead seagull stuck on the roof. I was like, I'm gonna go get Paul. Went up to Paul, I was like, Paul, I got you, sir. I got you, Went up to Paul, I was like, oh, Paul, I found your lunch. He was like, oh, what are you saying, buddy? What are you saying? It's like, pulling me around the corner, I was like, look, I found your lunch. Fucking dead seagull on the ceiling.
Bet he loved that one.
I bet.
Oh, he loves cleaning up these birds, to be fair.
He did. He got some guy with a cherry picker to come over and so he went up on the cherry picker and just went and like scooped up the dead seagull.
Oh, Paul, man.
He's
God, I love him. Yeah. He's top. He's a top guy. He's a top guy. I love him so much, man. You get a lot of good characters from where we're from. Like it's good. That's another. That's another thing as well though about this thing, like this little Cold Wans like run as well. Like I've met so many people and kind of got to know them more than I ever was going to get to know them before that, and that's so rewarding in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like just hearing people's stories, even if it's not like deep, just hearing about what they've been up to in their life. It's just it's good. It's mesmerizing sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, some of the least expecting people have the most amazing stories, and that's the crazy part about life.
It's like life experience is so valuable.
Exactly, and it is. It's one of the most engaging things for me because you just sit here and listen. And it's just like it's so therapeutic listening to someone's life.
It's like that's like today. I was in Morrison's and I was in the car park, so I parked my car. I was like, right, I'll go in and get a meal deal. And I walked past and there was this like beautiful white Porsche, and some guy was sat in it. And I was like, It started in my head. I was like, I really want to go talk to him. Like, I just want to like he was just. I could see him. He was sat on his phone, sitting in his car. He was laughing at something. I was like I kind of like walked past it. I was like kind of trying to make eye contact with him. He sees me, I'll be like, but he didn't lock eyes with me. So I was like, I don't want to go like knock on this guy's Porsche, but I just wanted to like fucking speak to him, get a bit of life experience. Like people, I don't know, like he's got a Porsche, so he's clearly done something right.
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess it's not the best indicator, but like to me, just networking and like chatting to people, trying to gauge what life experience really is. Like I remember again outside Morrison's, there was this guy who was an army vet, right? His name was Michael. He was like, he's this army vet that stood outside. This man, I walked into Morrison's. This man chatted to me for 45 minutes. I didn't have any money to give him, so I just gave him my time of day. Wow, he'd met so many celebrities, and I was like, right, that's like he just your standard, just some random guy, and he's just met all these people, and I was like, all from just doing like security jobs and stuff. Yeah. So like, I don't know. I feel like, especially with the rest of my my 20s coming up, focusing on like just doing shit like that, like just fucking mental like adventures and shit.
That's the goal, man. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people, that's also something as well. Like, see when you're walking about nowadays as well, if you go back like 30 years, the amount of people that just kind of spoke to each other, you know what I mean? Just in the passing. But sometimes nowadays you walk past folk and they look at you like, you know, like,
yeah. Like people judge you so quickly. Like, you can walk past anyone and they'll instantly just be like, for no reason.
It's
like people, you get the weirdest looks when you actually stop to talk to someone. See, when you're like, if you're out in public and you're stuck in like a good conversation with just a random person, that's when people walk past and they're like it's like they want to like join in the conversation, because it's just like two people being mindful of each other, just like standing there and just being like, we can have a conversation. it just like it sparks something inside people.
It's that whole communal brain that they've got, because that's what we are apes, and we are built to communicate. You know what I mean?
And it's annoying because the times where I personally find where like you get that community feeling is when you're in a pub.
Yeah.
Which is annoying because I actually really don't like drinking that much.
Yeah.
Or like getting absolutely like I do like it. See, when you're drunk, it's good. But I don't actually like getting drunk.
Yeah, no, absolutely. it's a bit of a task, to be fair. Nah, but like I understand what you mean. Like sometimes it's exactly what you want. Like I don't really drink much more like now, but I remember back when it like you get one of those days and you're like, I just want to drink, and then you go and drink, and it feels good to drink because it like takes a lot off your mind and stuff as well. Like, but then when you drink too much, it becomes a problem because when you go in with a bad headspace and you drink too much, like I used to do every time.
I think drinking is all about the people that you're with.
Yeah,
like,
no, absolutely.
If you're getting smashed, right, but you're with the right people, it's completely fine.
Yeah.
But like it's a problem when you might start doing shit more on your own, and like you become more isolated, but like you're still drinking or you're doing whatever. Like it's the same shit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely to do with who's around you, like, because there's times in my life where I've been around like groups of people that I didn't really speak to much, and I've went way too over the limit. And that's the thing as well. Like I was always really bad with drinking as it was, like, and I know that, and I can admit that. But it's like when you put yourself in the wrong situations as well, it just gets worse, like so much worse. But it's just a whole.
It's like, but that's like, I think about this like. When I talk to people, we're 20, but like individually, we both have quite a lot of shit that's already happened in our lives, like quite big turning points. Sometimes I think, all right, I might not like, if this was a different like parallel universe, I'm dead. Like I've already died.
Yeah.
I died at 14.
Yeah.
Like I died at 15. I died at 16. I don't know. I feel like with what's happened in life, you just learn from it, and me personally, I feel really like grateful to still be somewhat all right. Like I feel like I'm all right. Like I get through life pretty decently, and I've got a kind of direction I'm going in. So like I find lots of like gratitude in that.
Well, considering the like amount of health implications we could have came out with from our younger age, the thing is as well, like it literally only takes like taking one of said drug, and that's your palm. That's it.
Yeah, like I think that like at age 14 we were living a sex, drugs and rock and roll lifestyle. At 14 and like really full on going for it. That shit's crazy.
Yeah.
That shit's actually crazy at 14.
But it's not unexpected, to be fair. If you go outside and you look around and you actually like understand the culture that we live in. And it's a very Scottish-based culture as well. Like obviously there'll be other countries that do the same thing.
Aye.
But Scotland's one of the worst for like that kind of lifestyle when you're young.
UK as well. Like
UK.
The rest of it, like England as well.
Yeah, I would say UK as a whole. Like, but it's one of those things where you have to kind of open your eyes and kind of just understand that is the case, and it's not just your children. The thing is as well, like my mum and dad dealt with it really well. Well, they dealt with it well considering what they had went through before. Because my sister and my brother were no issues, you know what I mean? And then you're getting chucked this version of your child that's not who it used to be. You know, it's like you see two different versions of that person, and it's like you brought them up completely fine. There was nothing to do with them for what happened. It was just wrong place, wrong time for me, and then I ended up getting attached to that. That was what happened. So it's like, but you also need to try. I think there should be more help for kind of parents to understand or have a way to kind of help kids rather than kind of diminish them as almost for what they're doing.
Aye.
Because it doesn't help in a lot of cases.
I guess like see when like obviously we're not parents, like we never know how that would feel if your child was taking drugs or whatever. But as a kid, like you can turn to these kind of things because like the parent might not be there to support you. Like some people might not have parents there to support them or whatever. So like having a parent there to support you through these kind of things, like it's a fucked up situation, but like I think for what happened, things are pretty good now.
Yeah.
Things are actually all right.
Man, we definitely all got really lucky. Like,
Dodged a bullet,
Yeah.
pretty much.
especially if you look at some of the folk that are like our peers, maybe not even our peers,
Yeah.
like younger folk as well, like within our kind of school group.
Yeah, it's like you like I still go out. Like I'll still fucking like if I have a gig or something, I'll go out on the weekends and stuff. Like just go out for a drink, and I'll see people that I knew when I was 14, and they're on like a completely different life track. It's like you can see where their life's going. I think you can see that with most people. Obviously, life is so volatile that you can never truly predict where someone's
It's
going.
very unpredictable.
But you can kind of have a clear understanding of, right, that's the kind of direction someone's going to.
Yeah.
And I think being like young and just going out and doing that kind of shit, I don't know. I feel like if I was in that situation as a parent, I don't know what I'd do. And I couldn't say anything from my perspective now because, like, obviously, in my case, my parents, they didn't take drugs. But when I was young, I took drugs. So,
Yeah, it's the same case scenario.
but so if my kid took drugs, it's like now I'm just a hypocrite.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess it's like you could say because I've experienced it, I can tell you to say no.
Yeah.
But fucking the war on drugs itself, it's a losing battle. Like being on the other side of it, you look and you can see like the fact that we were 14 and being able to do that. I think it's because there was this kind of like taboo or like this kind of mystery about drugs and about everything about it. I was so invested in like the kind of like the thing about it that made it so like seductive and mysterious. It was like, it's illegal, you shouldn't do it. I was like, well, no, I just want to do it.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that is where the problem can lie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like maybe if it was all legal and you know what the effects are, you probably just be like, well, it's like alcohol. It's like you know it gets you drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that legalizing everything's not ever going to happen. Like, but
Oh, I know. No.
I can see like that whole placing point though. It makes sense because it's especially when you're young, you get like that kind of. You get like that child brain where you kind of just want to do things that you're not meant to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's definitely where I was, at least when I started.
And like sneaking out and shit. I
Yeah.
used to do that shit all the time. Like I just like the thought of like, why can't I go out late at night? I'm just gonna go out.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a good feeling when you get out and then you realise that you're fucking
You're cold.
yeah, you're cold.
You're cold.
It was the
Nothing to
bin
do.
fires, man. It was the bin fires. That was the back time. It was like
Bin fires. Wow. You can still smell them.
in my lungs.
Aye.
No, man, that was
The fact that was like a tradition as well.
still is.
Yeah,
It's a weird thing, man. But
Like a wheelie bin. What's the point? Is find something else to do.
That's all good and said until it's chilly, man.
Aye.
Life as a child was so fucking.
You see when you'd capture the perfect blue bin.
I know what it
Full
goes
to the
them.
brim, full of paper and cardboard. And you're like, yes.
So little things in life. Eh? Oh. Oh man, that is fucking hilarious. Oh, I miss so many though. Like, not I don't miss the time. I miss the memories.
Aye.
Some of the times,
There's
like,
parts to it.
and that was probably the most social time of my life as well, or like the most real time of my life.
Yeah.
I would say. Like, obviously now, socialing for me is not that big a deal because unless like once I started doing stuff on social media, you see how many folk just kind of disperse from your life
Aye.
because you're not like going out, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and it's like fair enough. Like, you live your life, I'll live mine. I don't really mind. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna force you to like me or force you to follow through with my future, but. It is crazy because I remember someone told me that before I'd done all these things and kind of started taking a leap out and doing things that most folk wouldn't do. And everyone was like, oh, but wait until you start to see like the repercussions of folk like leaving and you do see it. And I was like, aye, all right.
Yeah.
These are good friends. And it's like, it's not like they aren't good friends, right? Because if anyone of them watches them, these are all good people. And I've not got anything against you, but it's the whole fact of the matter of it's so true.
Mm-hmm.
The minute you start going out of what folk really care about you for, they go. And it's such a real thing. It's crazy.
I guess like people only like you when you're useful.
That is honestly, I've never heard such a truer thing in life, man. That is so facts. Like, see the amount of people even nowadays, right? That will sometimes mail me and they'll be like, "Oh, can you give me a lift?" I'm like, "Nah," but then like they'll start talking to me again, and then later down they'll stop talking to me again, and then suddenly out of nowhere, "Oh, can I get a lift?" And I'm like, "No," because you can see it. It's like a trend. You see them coming back because they want something from you. If you don't give it to them, then they go away for it. Then they're like, "Oh, that person's there."
Selfish, yeah.
And you know what? I don't have anything wrong. I don't have a problem with any of those folk either, but quite frankly, I'm not going to put my time into people like that.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to be taken like advantage of.
Yeah. And like I'm not dumb enough to be taken advantage of now. Whereas back in the day, absolutely. I would have let myself fucking make an absolute mug of myself every day of the week just because I wanted to make people happy. And it's just not what it's about now, you know what I mean? And you have to get that kind of realization through your head eventually that life isn't always about making people happy. Obviously, do what you can. But make sure you're looking after yourself as well, because that's the most important thing.
There's ways to like try and like bring happiness to the world, but you need to put your kind of like your mental state, your physical state, your kind of like your shit first. Because if that's not out of the way, you can't help any other shit.
Yeah. We've went on a fucking mad
tangent.
It's like 42 minutes in, man, and this has been a good chat though. Like I think this is going to be a good little bit. But I really want to get this MMA clip up because I want to talk about Alex Pereira.
Okay.
So I was watching 303, like UFC 303, and he knocked out that Jiri.
Yuri Prohaska.
Yeah, but like this Alex Pereira guy's 37 years old, mate. He's an absolute machine.
37?
Yeah, 37.
I thought he was younger than that.
So did that.
But to be fair, he's been kickboxing. Like, he was in, wasn't he in one?
Yeah, I think so. But it's just crazy to see how much this guy puts out, and he's the age he is. Like, I'm not saying that when you get to that age you can't put out, but the way he does it, and he's knocked out almost every single competitor he's been against for the last good, like, 10 fights. Or maybe not quite 10 fights.
It's scary. Like, I don't know what, like, you look at him and he's just like, it's like when I watch him fight, it's like I can see why he's so powerful. Like you can see it from his frame and his technique, but you just can't you can't fathom him how he puts it together. It's so smooth. Like the way he just moves in and out and then bang.
He's a crazy. But if we'll get some clips up, right? So this is the first round with him where he knocks him to the ground. Doesn't knock him out first round, but this is what happens at the end of the first round. And it's like, straight to the floor. That left hook that he always pulls out. Straight to the floor. He's like, given the pressure, it's just bang.
It's his distance. He's keeping him in distance, and then he just...
It's a crazy thing. But then he also knocked him out at the end of the fight. So we got him a nice wee fucking kick, and he just put him on the ground. Fucking ground and pound, man. It's crazy though, like
it is. Well, I want to watch that again.
No, he's not trying to help in that. He's got that respect, but
no, but like, look at him. I've heard that, like, see Yuri Prohaska's little ponytail on the top. The reason Alex Pereira knew how to time it was that Yuri was like fainting, and then he stopped and he saw his like ponytail stop moving, and then he knew that was when to kick. I've not actually rewatched it since, so like, yeah, his ponytail stops and bang.
See, but you respect how much effort he's putting into that though. If he knows like to that sort of critique.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Alex Pereira for the last like 20 years has pretty much done nothing but kickbox. Probably literally nothing else. Like he is just some primal warrior. Like he doesn't even
doesn't look like
he doesn't bring his hand up as like a lever. He just like, the hips don't turn over, he just kicks him.
It's mad, man. Gotta appreciate it though. Like, having that much power with 37, it's just fucking, it's a scary looking guy. But you see that Tom Aspinall's trying to get him to come up to heavyweight as well.
I think that'd be interesting. I don't think he should. I think if John Jones went down to light heavyweight, because he used to fight light heavyweight, I don't know if he's just way bigger now, but if John Jones went down to light heavyweight, Alex Pereira versus John Jones. Fucking, I think John Jones would fuck him up.
Tank.
Yeah, he'd wrestle with him.
Yeah, John Jones is a fucking...
But
he's also a scary
Tom Aspinall, John Jones is a really, really, really good fight. Like, really good.
You had a message for Alex Pereira going into the new year. Would there be one? No message. So the guy's a superstar in the sport, so do whatever you want. But
I'm Aspinall.
if we meet, for sure, I think we're both on the same page. It's going to be for an undisputed heavyweight title. So maybe see you next year at some point. Like I say, I've got a lot of respect for Alex Pereira and what he's done in the sport, and especially in a short amount of time. But if we're going to make it happen, it's going to be for the undisputed title. So.
Did you see Pereira's knockout on Jamal Hill?
No.
Have you not seen that?
No, I don't think so.
Where Jamal Hill, basically, Pereira like accidentally skiffs him in the nuts, like he hit the cup. And then Jamal Hill's like, oh, he got hit. And oh no, opposite way around. Jamal Hill kicks Pereira in the nuts. Mm-hmm. And Pereira like hits his cup, and then Pereira just goes like this to the ref, like says, like, no, I'll just keep fighting, and then just sparks him clean out. It's like
that makes me fist pump, man. I was watching a video on how he kicks as well, and he does kick really strange.
Yeah, it's like you just can't explain it. Like you can see why he's so good, but it's the way he stands.
Right, he looks.
Yeah. So he gets kicked in the nuts. Harding goes okay. They touch gloves, and then boom! It's the way. It's like a shoveled uppercut. Like the way he throws it, it's just so stiff. He just goes like that.
Disrespect, man. I love it. Oh, it's so good. Right across the beak, man. Puts him out.
Yeah, scary guy.
Oh man, this whole like setup just adds so much extra to this. I love it, man.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah, you could sit here for hours. And
you could. That's the thing. Like, that's why I think that guys try and get Scott and Mark to do a podcast with me every single week or every 2 weeks. Because it would be so good. See if we just bring up shit like this, mate, and just talk about it.
It would be good.
Like just stupid shit. Even like I was thinking this. I was like, you could even watch like UFC every month, and we could just sit here and fucking
just watch
it and talk over it while we're here. Yeah. Like that's what capabilities we have with what I've got now. Mm-hmm. So it's like all things to think about. Because I mean, Cold Wans is great, and I love Cold Wans, but just having more out every week would be great. Yeah. But I also need to worry about my editing kind of schedule as well, because
it's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Editing's the difficult part. Recording is not. Did you also see that that lassie tried to claim that he had sexually assaulted her or something?
No, I've not seen that.
I'm not going to watch the whole 8 minutes.
Assaulted Alex Pereira? No, opposite. What the fuck am I? Nobody could assault Alex Pereira.
Right, just assault them back. Oh, it's that. I don't want to watch this fucking 9-minute video. We'll see. We'll see if it gets up the bit where she's talks.
Clever Clog sold her home for free with purple bricks. He did too.
Did they? Oh, shut up.
Alex Pereira is smashing through the UFC, but as of yesterday, a female TikTok user named Meredith Brown claims that he smashed through her non-consensually. She said that Alex Pereira had allegedly touched her.
No,
and claims that it was all allegedly set up through his translator friend, Melvin Alexander Jovel, or in this story, he goes by Mel. It begins with Meredith claiming that her friend and Instagram user, Jesse Mofo, was talking to Melvin, setting up a date between the two when Alex Pereira asked Melvin to ask Jesse if she had a friend for him as well, to which Jesse obliged and set up the date between Meredith Brown and Alex Pereira, where the alleged assault happened just days later.
We go to New Jersey. Mel hits up my friend, invites us both to a private training at a gym called Cruise MMA, where Alex is training. We're the only women in there except for this older woman who's married to one of the people that's also sparring. My friend spars with him. I videotape the whole time, and I'm sitting down watching. Him and Mel take me and my friend outside of the gym that we were in after the training session. He comes on to me, goes behind me, looks at my and approves to his translator, which is also disgusting now that I know what his intent was, like I was cattle or something. He tries to kiss me outside of Cruise MMA gym. I grab his face and I push him away. I will try to find security footage from a building around it if possible.
Meredith's claims to be at the gym with Alex Pereira, Jesse, and Melvin seem to be true, with pictures surfacing of Jesse with Alex on the day this allegedly happened. and the two of them were at the event, as pictures from both Meredith and Jesse's Instagram stories show them at UFC 302, with pretty good seats, to say the least. This still doesn't make Pope.
I think that's enough. What do you think?
God knows. It's hard to say with these things because, like, you don't want to be like you don't want to like say it as like I don't know, like you don't want to say anything,
Yeah,
because
don't want to get involved with
yeah,
it.
if you try and say, oh, he's definitely done this, it's like, well, where's the hard set evidence? And if you try and like defend him, it's like, what are you trying to defend? Like, if he did it, he's a prick. If he didn't do it, then she's a bitch for like trying to get like money out of him or something. But
it's always a situation with these things where you can't.
I mean, fuck knows. I thought he had like a wife and stuff, but I guess
I didn't know.
I guess no. I know he has kids.
Yeah. Nah, I don't know. I just thought I'd bring that up because I watched the full TikTok of her talking and I was like, that's a crazy thing because Alex Pereira's become so big now that it almost is too good for to be true in some ways. But I'm not going to sit there and make claims that like stuff like that. I just thought I'd bring it up because it was there.
Have you seen the Bilal versus Edwards fight? The most recent one? No. I haven't watched it either. But that was the last UFC. And then the next one I think is UFC 308.
Is it 308?
I think so.
I thought 303 would just happen.
303?
Yeah.
No, I think it was 305. Might be 305 actually.
Oh fuck!
Maybe
look to be fair.
Yeah, fuck knows.
I don't do a very good job of keeping up with it, to be fair, because I'm never up at the time that it's always streaming.
5 a.m.
To be fair, that time that we done it all, that was really good when we watched it. That was a good time. Some actual crazy fights there as well, but.
Paddy Piblet, he just fought again against Bobby Green, and he submitted him and broke it, and like broke his arm at the same time, which is fucking deadly.
Paddy Piblet went to make a name though. He did say.
Oh yeah.
Green was saying that he wouldn't submit him, and he did, so or knock him out. So I can only respect it, to be fair. But we are literally pulling up this time so hard. Like 53 minutes in.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, man. It's so easy to talk though. Like it's like podcasts are so good because it is so easy just to talk. Yeah. And the thing is as well, we came in with this having an idea of just watching stuff and reacting, but for the first like 40 minutes we spoke about real things.
Yeah.
Like life.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because sometimes it's just what you need.
Yeah, you just need to get something out of your system.
Yeah. But I think we should try and cut this down a bit now. So what I'm going to do is we'll cut to the last part that I would usually do in a Cold Wans episode as well. And I'll ask you this question because it's quite important. And I think it's probably one of not the favourite part about the whole of Cold Wans. Mm-hmm. So the thing I'm going to ask you is, do you have a quote or a bit of advice for people out there that can maybe help them?
Pretend you care about something a lot and then don't care about things that you don't like. That's it. Just care about shit you actually want to care about. Don't care about the rest. Don't care about what anyone else thinks. Don't care about what anyone else says. Be a good person and then fucking get on with it. Get through life. Like, we're all going to die, and then everyone you know is going to die, and all the people they've ever known is going to die. So if you want to do something, do it. If you don't like something, ignore it. Just wipe out your life and then try live life in, I don't know, try find bliss or like a bit of comfort in just, a bit of life.
Experiencing life.
Yeah, just like
living it for life.
Just be a good cunt.
Yeah,
that's it. Be a good cunt.
Fantastic. Be a good cunt. I like that. But on that note, we're going to end this off here because we have really ran up the clock, and I didn't expect to be sitting here for this long, to be honest.
Aye.
Not that that's a bad thing.
It was good.
I did not expect it to sit for this long, to be honest. And we got a little bit of the Bluetooth stuff in just to kind of work the system and see what it's like as well. And
yeah, it's a fucking sick setup you've got now.
It's good. So
it's evolved.
Who's ready to see Cold Wans go to the moon?
Yes.
Well, anyways, thank you very much, Scott, for coming on. It was an it was an absolute fucking pleasure, man. And that'll be the ender to season 3, episode 1.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. I would have you any day of the week.
Good time.
It's a great time with you every single time, bro. It's good to get a conversation going because as much as it is and much as we speak quite a bit, life does get caught up and we do kind of we lose that kind of connection every so often. But
too focused.
We all know that we're there for each other, and any time that you want to come on Cold Ones or just come and sit and chat in front of the camera,
fun, like,
or just to me, why not?
Aye.
Let's do it. But yeah, so that'll be the ender to that. And except from that, guys, I'll see you again tomorrow.
Goodbye.